Hello, boys. How we doing? 6 o'clock on the dot. We're ready to rock. How's everyone doing on this fine Monday? Is it Monday today? It is Monday today. Yeah. I'm just gonna turn that down. Wonderful. All right. Okay. All right, we are all set. Yes, wonderful. So, Mr. Gabe's gonna be joining us soon. Hello, Runaway 5. What's going on? And Kirk, I think, from Wilson Family Jewelry. How you doing, bro? Nice to see everyone. Nice to see everyone again. It doesn't seem like 5 minutes since we were last on here. So yeah, Mr. Gabriel Thorn's gonna be joining us in just a few moments. I've got a little selection here. This is what's gonna be going on my side of things today. I've got not doing this guy, but he was just there just for a little bit of character. We've got some corrosion texture, which is apparently a diorama thing, but I don't think it makes any difference if you use it on your minis or not. And I've got some standard rust and some old rust, and these are enamel pigments. And it's not the first time I've used them, but I've just recently gone into this field, as it were, of pigments rather than inks or whatever it is. They work a little bit different. So. To anything else I've ever used. I don't know if you're in the UK. There's these like enamel paints that you can get for like the Airfix models and stuff, and they behave and feel completely and utterly differently from GW paints and like acrylic paints and stuff like that. And they're kind of like this. But Warhammer 5 says pigments are so awesome for painting. They are great. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of work on this super duper rusty stomper head. You can see I've already rusted them up quite a bit, so it's going to be continuing to add some stippling of some chip metal on, because currently we're look at that corrosion there, boys. That corrosion's looking nice, and but we need to chip up that yellow because it's stark. It's like lovely unchipped, unblemished panel, and then super corrosive. So we're gonna blend this in and make it look a bit more cohesive, a bit more blended, a bit more realistic. Super rusty top there, if you can see that. You know what, I'm astounded at how bloody good this camera is. This is just my phone camera that I use for this. I'm always taken aback by just how bloody good it is at these close-ups. You can really see all the details there. Lucked out with that. It's a Google Pixel, by the way, if you really want to video yours. Yeah, time to get the sponge out for real. Yeah, absolutely. Sponge is coming out. The sponge is right here, ready to be shredded up. If you ever want to take videos or pictures of up close miniature stuff, Google Pixel phones, man, really good, really good. So, who else we got in here? We got 5 people in. Should have Mr. Thorn joining us soon. We kind of got our times mixed up. I thought he was 5 hours behind. Turns out he's 6 hours behind. So we arranged at 1 PM his time, and obviously it's 12 o'clock over there right now, but he's kindly gonna hop on soon to help erase my blunder. I don't know where I got the idea that it was 5 hours behind, but there we are. Anyway, this is gonna be the crack. This is what I'm gonna be working on, and yeah. So I use an OBS bot camera, pretty cheap, and works amazingly well for streaming. Oh, cool. I didn't realize you stream stuff, mate. What kind of stuff do you do on here? Or on the internet or whatever? I imagine you upload stuff and that's cool. I didn't know I had there was another one of my kind in the chat. Yeah, I really just fell into doing this. It's never like I've never had any aspiration to stream stuff. But I've already have all the stuff to do it from when I used to make music, and I thought, dude, well, that'd be really cool. I think I made one painting video back in the day, and I thought, holy shit, this was quite enjoyable. And yeah, it's kind of just rolled downhill from there, and then here we are. So what's going to be going on? So I'm just going to start ripping this bugger up. we're getting some chips onto this. It's a nice buggled edge. I used to on Twitch, but life gets in the way. Yeah, mate. I get you. One of the reasons I do this is so I actually have dedicated time and I sit down and I do my hobby, and I just film it at the same time and have people to talk to while I do it. And it's I'm a very social creature until the battery runs out, but while there is still battery there, I very much so like to talk to people while I'm doing anything, even when it's like online games and stuff. I don't do very well in single player games anymore because I like to experience stuff with people. Do you know what I mean? That's just kind of how my brain is wired. It's almost like if no one else saw it or was there with you when it happened, it almost don't it's like it never happened. Lots of cosplay stuff, prop making. Oh, interesting. Prop mate, that's really interesting. Do you know what? It's very funny you should I've never had any interest in cosplay stuff, but then the other day it just popped into my head like a streak of lightning out of a clear sky. And I was like, do you know what? I'd really love a full Star Wars Republic Commando like armor set, like the full whack with like the visor and everything. That's what I would do. I'd love to rock up to a convention. Dude, I know the feeling. I just use it to hang out with people in a very antisocial way while still being social. Yeah, I mean, I don't have to leave my house to be very social with people who like directly are interested in this kind of stuff that I'm interested in, and it's great. And hopefully, yeah, you guys can glean some of that yourselves while you kind of hang out with me in the chat. Most of you guys are pretty new. I mean, I was doing this just me talking on stream for like 2 hours straight, and even I run out of things to say after about that point. It's an acquired skill. And since Mr. Tweed was on with me the other day, it's been a lot easier to keep the conversation flowing and stuff. So I've very much so enjoyed having someone to directly speak to. Mr. Tweed was like the guy who was there for all of my streams, rain, sun, and shine. And one day I was like, mate, do you just want to come on? And I added him in, and yeah, he's probably going to be a mainstay now, I would imagine. Right, let's do some chipping on here. I shouldn't think Mr. Thorn will be too much longer. I did tell him, don't rush, because it is my fault. I used to weather and paint big stuff, and now it's very small stuff. This is the biggest one I've ever done, you know. And I've never gone to this extent ever with weathering. Let me show you guys real quick, just before I start on this. I want to show you the stomper itself. It's not finished. Oh, don't look at it. It's not finished, right? It's not finished. It's still in progress. I'm going to take you around it and show you what I've put on it already. So let me just tell you what. I think this calls for a free-handed camera. Oh. Sorry. Alright, we're back. This calls for a free-handed camera. Okay. I'm going to take that gun off because that's not even slightly done. So, super chipped and weathered. You soppy bastard. I heard all that. Just popped in to say hi before I have to go. Alright, bro. See ya. I love you very much, man. I'll see you later. And yeah, make sure you send me a good night selfie like you always do, brother. Love you, man. Take it easy. So we've got all sorts going on here. Loads of little Easter eggs, as it were. I just want to show you before we continue. We've got a classic. Here we go. Right. We got a classic Zog. And this is where like some grots tried to start repainting it yellow, and then someone thought it was shit, and he said, "Shit job, you grot." And then it says, "Nog was here." Beautiful. What else we got? Here we go. Classic. The Bad Moons. It's a Bad Moon Stomper, if you couldn't tell. What we got here? We got a Dakka. Git. Crump. The Lads. What else we got? Oh, Crunch down there. Yep. What else we got? Zogoff. Beautiful. And these guys, I like the idea that he's carrying all the ammo in and he's being like, "Oh, I bloody told you, it'd not fucking take ages." So, loving that one. Oh yeah, and no Umis, just in case they try to climb up in here. They know no Umis, and they'll go away. So that's the defense there. And yeah, it's just super duper rusty. I thought if I'm gonna have a stomper, I want it to be a big fucking rust bucket. So there you go. Anyway. That's the Stomper. Not my favourite kit to put together. I wouldn't want to have to do another one. But anyway. Spin! Alright. Okay, it's time to get to shipping. Is anyone else hobbying in a minute? Are we working on stuff? Thanks, mate. Yeah, it's been a long time coming getting my hands on a Stomper. They're weirdly inexpensive to actually buy. I think you can get them for about 70, 80 quid tops with a bit of discount. I think like 60 quid, which is crazy for how massive it is. It's like a Titan model, like a small Titan model. It's bigger, much bigger than an Imperial Knight. Really impressive on the field as well. So definitely worth the money to just get yourself one. If you're an Orcs player, obviously. But anything big enough is a Stomper if you want to convert stuff for the Orcs, which is brilliant. Not only have the Imperial Guard been eating really good with these new tanks that have come out, but the Orcs are also eating bloody well as well. Because all of that stuff is right for looting. I'm not quite happy with that. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I'm painting my White Scars second company. Hell yeah, dude. My buddy plays Orcs. He always brings this. He always brings the Stomper down. I've never fielded it yet. Obviously, I've never seen one on in a game before, so it'd be very interesting to see. There we go. See what it's like. I mean, I play 1-page rules now, so it's kind of not the classic Stomper rule set wise. I get you slipping on my swag juice. There we go. I like to tap it over the bits that have rusted as well. That just helps you remember that it is metal and it looks right. So there we go. It's not so bad. There we go. Big splotch here and there. I'll do. I've tried to give it like watery streaks, like streaks down there. You can see. Yeah. Anyway. Oh, get around the back as well. There we go. Real heavy on these bits. Sometimes I'm definitely guilty of not going quite heavy enough when it comes to the stippling. It's a fine balance, but that balance is a little bit easier to work with Orcs. They you can just do a little bit more than you would with anything else, and you don't really suffer for it. Oh yeah. Okay. Has anybody got stuff that they've sent in that hasn't been looked at yet to go over this evening? That's hovering around in chat, waiting for that section of stuff to happen. If you've got stuff that you might like to be shown to Gabe tonight, we've got the Discord where you can just drop some stuff into the hobby picks section on the Discord. If you want to find the link for that, it'll be somewhere in the description of this video, I believe. If not, I can drop it into the chat. Let me just double check that I did indeed put it. Yeah, the Discord link is in the description, so if you want to head over there and pop some stuff in the hobby picks section, we might be able to see that tonight for you. Okay, that's great. Now it gets a lot better once the first initial bit on the sponge dries. Then it becomes a lot more rigid. Okay. Just slipping on my swag juice. I'll tell you what I ended up listening to today, music-wise. I ended up listening to a bit of Eminem. I haven't listened to him in a long time. Some of his older freestyles on the internet. I forgot how good he is. Don't really listen to rap so much anymore. I used to listen to that a lot when I was younger. Where we just put a bit more here, a bit more on those bolts, the rivets, and these raised bits here. That's the one. That's the ticket. Okie dokie. Where? Yeah, definitely some more over here, without a doubt. Bosh, bosh, bosh. Try to smush that in between those ladder sections. There we go. Okay, now tease it around the top. And that really sells that that is metal. It's looking good. Oh, I've just been... Okay, let me just check something real quick, guys. Bear with me. The camera's just gonna disappear for a second, potentially. Okay. Alright. Okay, we've got Mr. Thorn incoming. Okay. I'm gonna pop him on, so bear with me. Okay, I'll just do him direct. Hello.
Hey. Yo.
Hello, mate. How are you doing?
Hey, man. Oh, I'm good. Just taking a look at some Votan paint schemes.
Oh, cool. One sec, though. I'm just gonna sort it out so you can see you. 'Cause that'd be good, wouldn't it? Oh, where are we? Oh, goodness. Okay, that's sorry, bear with me, mate.
What's cool? I'm gonna make a pot of coffee.
Okay. Right. If I minimize it and then get the alt and drag it. Oh, you know what? That's fine. I tell you what, man. I think sometimes I'm kind of retarded. I'm trying to get this thing to work. What'd you say?
Oh, I got you, man. Like I am not tech savvy at all. People tell me I should use AI, and I'm like, man, I can barely use Excel. I don't.
I can barely figure out my intelligence.
Yeah. Right. They told me that the new one, Claude, can just do all of your spreadsheets and stuff, and I was like, I don't want to teach an AI to do my spreadsheets. I can barely do them.
Yeah, well, yeah, I can't do spreadsheets, so maybe that would be quite good for me. Something about looking at Excel that just like makes my brain turn into a walnut. I avoided that kind of stuff. I had to use it a
lot in my my last two jobs. I was pretty heavy in Excel, so I had to really learn all the formulas and all that. Now I love it, and I don't want to like give it over to an AI to manage.
All right, I've done it. We can see you.
Oh, okay. Good. Okay. My pretty face.
Hell yeah, dude. Looking good.
Yeah, this is the woke up a couple hours ago and put together a bike for my daughter. Look.
Okay. You put together a bike today. That's great.
Yeah, she's graduated. Her old bike is so tiny that it looks really funny to watch her ride it. So I bought her a new bike, and she's gonna get home from school today, and it'll be waiting for her.
That reminds me, in this country, you might know what I'm talking about, but there was like this weird, in the mid 2000s, there was this weird trend where people got these tiny miniature motorized like
Oh yeah.
motorbikes that were like a foot
That's
tall.
actually big here now. That's the thing that they do here now. Yeah, we're like any trend, the U.S. is not really the cultural leader of the world anymore. So a trend that hits Europe, like give it 10 years and it'll be big in the U.S.
Really, that's funny because that's what we say about America. It's like what you see in America happens about 10 years later over here. But
Oh no, we're yeah, I think we've switched places a lot as the cultural leaders. Now it's what's big in Japan and China filters to Europe, then eventually gets to America. Um, so and then like after that gets down to where I live in America in Alabama because we're a few years behind the rest of the country.
oh yeah, somebody in chat said mini motors. That's what they were called. They were mental. Like
Yeah.
everybody's on every street there was somebody with a mini motor, and it was
There
never
are
like
kids in my neighborhood doing it right now.
the thing is though, it would never be kids. It would be like fully grown adult men on this 1 foot tall motorbike. It was ridiculous.
No, it's usually like teenagers on it here. We usually have like these teenagers on their little tiny bikes riding around. But I have a 6-year-old and she's outgrown her bike, so I had to find one that fit her, and she's very excited. It finally came in today.
A new bike date for a kid. That's like core memory stuff. That.
Right. Yeah, she's gonna get home and it's all assembled right in the front door. So she's gonna.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
Big pink bike with blue rims on the wheels. Like she's gonna lose it.
I still remember. I remember all of the 2-wheeled gifts that I ever got. I think I never had like a bicycle beyond like a little kid's bike until I got older. I bought myself one, but I did have a 2-wheeled scooter, and it had blue handles and it lit up underneath. And I had it for 3 or 4 days, and the gypsies came through town and stole it out my back garden.
Yeah, when we lived in Denver, that was a thing. Like you couldn't leave stuff out because we called them the Jawas. The Jawas would come and like just in the middle of the night and like clear out anything you left out in your yard.
That's a
because we never saw them. Like we don't know who or where they came from or anything. They just
or if they were even human.
Right, yeah. We don't know, but like we could leave it out in the alley behind the house if we needed to get rid of anything. We just leave it out there and it'd be gone in the morning. So it was kind of like a service, but also kind of theft.
We call them scrappies around here.
Right, just it's good if you need that, but if not, you might get your bike stolen.
Yeah, well. There should have been no confusion because mine was pristine and brand new, and it still went. But anyway, mate, it's been a little while since we last spoke to one another on one of these things. What's new with you? Anything popping off since
well, right now, Golden Demon. I'm just looking at all the Golden Demon winners. Really impressive stuff this year. But I do have a little beef with the Golden Demon. It's not really beef, but just like a comment on the Golden Demon winning
go for it.
because it seems to be like a half a dozen people just won everything, and like you didn't see that many winners that just won one thing. Like you have a lot of people who won like 6 or 7 trophies, and then another guy that won like 6 or 7 trophies, and it seems like it's the same people,
right? Okay,
which I understand. Like these are very good painters, and they're gonna win, but also like
just to ask, are they winning all those trophies off of one model?
No. Like you can only win one trophy off of a model,
right?
So they're entering 6 or 7 models, and then they all place. So, you on one hand, yes, I mean these are the best painters in the world. They're gonna win, but also it kind of restricts the style that you see. It's
right.
It's like the same. Yeah. It's very like uniform, the winning in Golden Demon. One of them I saw, like the one that I was actually most impressed with, I forget who it was, but won a silver, and it was like I think it was the only one he entered, and it was really good. It was some Nurgle, the Nurgle guy on the giant maggot, and he was on this like slime base. It was like translucent slime going up, and I thought that was really really interesting and really original. But I think he only won that one. I don't know. I didn't look to see if his name was elsewhere, but Golden Demon seems to be a little bit less creative and original and much more just, I'm going to paint these models in my style, and all the styles kind of look the same.
And who decides who wins these? Is it Games Workshop?
Yeah, the heavy metal team is usually the judges at Golden Demon.
Right.
They go and I mean it is a huge task because you're looking at thousands of models and trying to pick the best ones. But they that's why it went. Games Day used to be one day. Now it's Adepticon in the U.S. and it's all week, all weekend. So they get to go through all these entries in that time. Ooh, excuse me.
No
but
worries.
yeah, certainly not to take away from any of the winners. They're amazing. They're better painters than I am by far. But it is a lack of artistic diversity, I think,
Right.
that I'm seeing.
So, Runaway 5 in the chat has just said, GW has always favoured the heavy metal style, and so often it's that style that has the most winners.
Yeah. I think this is going to be a little controversial, but I think that winning Golden Demon is less. It comes down to at least less about like your painting skill and more about your painting style.
Right.
Again, not to say that these are not like perfectly painted models. These are exquisitely well painted models. But what separates the winners from the finalists is the style that they're painting in. Like, does this speak? And this was true even when I was doing Golden Demon. There were a few years where GW really liked this very, very cartoony style, and that's what won. Now it's a little bit more like similar to the heavy metal style that they look for, but with probably a little more blending and layering, and they don't tend to go really hard for object source lighting on their stuff.
Right, okay.
It seems like that's a little bit of a hindrance to winning.
Right. Okay.
I'm stirring coffee, so
That's fine.
it's only noon 30 here, so
Yeah.
I'm just getting ready for lunch. But yeah, I really I love Golden Demon season, but a lot of the time it's the ones that don't win that impress me the most, because they have a lot of creativity, a lot of interesting bases and backdrops and stuff. So yeah, I really enjoy that. Sometimes more so than the winning entries. Also, 3D printing has become a thing in Golden Demon,
Oh, really?
and I don't even really know the rules around that.
That's very interesting. I would assume that they would not want that to be part. They want, plastic GW
you would
stuff.
think, because when I was entering, the rules were you could do your own free sculpt, but you couldn't use anyone else. Like, it had to be 100% you. I think that's the case now. You could sculpt it in Blender and print it if it's your own original sculpt. But I don't know if that applies to everything. I don't know if that applies to basing. I don't really know what the rules are around that right now.
That's not me. Sorry, I'm just having a little technical play around.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you're back. So can you see the stream if I was to show you something?
I saw it a second ago.
Oh, you said, yeah, so I was just sharing my screen with you, but then we can't see you. But I
Yep.
suppose that might have to just be something
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay. All right, you can see my little stomper head.
There we go. Extreme. There we go. Yeah.
Cool. You can see the stomper head.
I like that. That's cool. You got the mech popping out the top.
Oh yeah, God, you got to have it. I'm just putting a load of rust effects on it currently, chipping it up. But
Yeah.
we've got some stuff that I'd like to show you. These are
Sure.
stuff that the community has chucked in on the Discord to show you and see what you think, and if there's anything that you might be able to help them with or suggest,
sure.
or whatever, you know. So what we got? We've got some. That's not one. Okay. I think we'd better do it. Somebody's. We've got some emailed ones. So. All right. Bear with me. I've just got to. I've got to make it so the stream can't see it for a sec, just so I don't give out people's private emails. So how do I do that then? Keep capture. There it is. Okay. Let me just sources. All right. Cool. Right. All right. Okay. But you can see my screen, can't you? Good.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay. I'm just gonna get into my. Where am I? There you are. If now's the time to send stuff in if you want, guys. Just about to start going into it now. So I'm just going to quickly recap over some stuff that we showed yesterday. Some stuff that we showed yesterday. There he is. We already went through these, but it would be cool for you to divulge what you think as well. Okay.
Yeah, I love seeing people's paint jobs.
Okay, can you see that? Is that decent enough?
I can see the stomp ahead.
Oh, okay. Sorry, you can't. So bear with me. You'll be able to see it. I need to share my entire screen with you. Sorry. So I need to share. I share my screen. Entire screen. There we go. All right. There you are. Can we see that?
Oh, look at that lion. Yes, I like him. Always a big fan of the hooded lion. I did mine with the bear head because I wanted him to look like Tywin Lannister. But hooded lion is, I think, the coolest head that you can do for him.
Where's that gone? Sorry. Now I'm gonna make it so everybody else can see it.
Yeah.
Bear with me. Okay. Is that on that? And then properties. Sorry, guys. This is ground to a little bit of a halt. Just being a bit
technology, man. That's
being a little
just
bit retarded right now.
Yeah.
Alright, so that was open. Yeah. Okay, I might need to select a new source. Properties. Capture specific window. Capture any full screen. Oh no, capture specific window. This one. Oh. Not that. Oh. Everybody may as well go get a bloody beer out the fridge or something. This might take a minute.
Got my coffee, so I'm good.
Yeah, it's probably not the time for a beer over there, but over here it's beer o'clock. It's 6:30.
Well, it depends on who you are, I suppose. My brother, it would be beer o'clock. He's got a problem.
Okay. Yeah, well, if it's a Monday as well, so especially not.
Right. Yeah, if you're drinking at noon on a Monday, I guess lunch beers, you could do, that's a thing.
Yeah, lunch beers is okay, isn't it? But I suppose if you're drinking on Monday at midday, you've either got life really good or really wrong.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a day drinker. Um, I'm not even that much of a night drinker.
It would just put me to sleep, to be honest, mate.
It's what, yeah. When I have trouble sleeping, I'll have a little bourbon and I'm off to bed.
Okay, I've got it now. Sorry about that, guys.
All right.
We're good. Okay, everyone can see it now. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. Okay.
Let
So
me zoom in.
we went. Oh, Grim Knot, which is my best sentence. War. Okay, mate. Yeah, we'll do that one. To be fair, because the picture's much better, so Gabe will be able to see it a lot better too.
Yeah.
So we'll go for that one instead. We did go through both of these. We went through this one in quite a lot. We were able to give him more advice on this one than we were for the other one, so it'd probably be best for us to do that then. So let's go.
All right.
Plot that off for a sec. Okay.
We jumped up. He's very big now. There we go. All right. Perfect.
All right. This one. This is the one he really wants the tips on.
Hey.
Can you see it?
I just did this guy not too long ago. Yeah.
Oh, perfect then. Okay.
Yeah.
And
I think this is really good. I can make. So the thing about miniature painting is there's always something else you could do to it, right? Like there's never like a time that you couldn't add one other little thing. You can just keep doing that. Now, if you keep doing that forever, you may ruin a perfect balance.
Yeah.
But more often than not, there's a little bit more you could do just to make it pop a little bit more. So if I'm offering advice, it's not because I don't think it's already awesome. It's because, hey, you could add this here or that there, and it would bring it up a little bit more.
Yeah. This is the time for nitpicking, if there ever was one.
Yeah. So for this guy, so I see what you're doing with the axe. You're trying to do object source lighting on it, but the model is already so bright. It's very white. It's very light gray. So that's not going to come across as the same way that it would if it was like a Black Templars model. It's already very dark base, you know. So you probably want to go ahead and do the metal bits on the axe, the haft and the wolf heads. Like go ahead and do those in gold. Do the gem in the middle in red, and just let it be basic colors instead of trying to make it look like it's glowing, because your model's too bright for a glow to really come through. So in this, I would do a dark metal haft, gold for the wolf heads, and then maybe a very light oil wash on that metallic, and that would make it pop a little bit more, I think. The base I really like. If you wanted to make the ice look a little bit more like snowed over ice, super glue is really good for that. You can use super glue. You can also, you've already scratched it up so it looks very icy. You could put down little layers of snow on it, little patches of snow, and that would make it look more like a frozen over lake. Let's see. The wolves look great. No notes.
Well,
I think
what I said about the wolves, obviously we're in nitpicking mode. What I said about the wolves is they may have been a little bit flat in color, that it didn't really sell me that they could have been real. Maybe some different tones on gradients on the fur, like from top to bottom. But yeah, that's it. They do look good.
I think he did a really good job of what looks like some kind of good wash on those wolves that brought out the fur. But if you wanted to do a natural color, that would work too.
There's another picture. This one here, you can really see that he's achieved this like frosting look, real subtle on that. Yeah. You can see on that leg there, that's like a subtle frosting effect. Personally, I don't even know how you'd go about doing that, but he definitely did that.
Honestly, it was probably accidental. It was probably like if I were to guess, it was he used a matte varnish and it came out a little hazy, but it worked, so he ran with it. Okay. That's happened to me before. I've Sometimes if it's a little too humid outside, or I mean, I live in Alabama, so it's always too humid outside. But if it's been raining or something, your matte varnish can come out and create a little haze on your models. Which is one reason I don't varnish that much, because I don't want to risk it. But on this, it looks great. It looks icy.
It does. I think you did that very well. What about the top half of this model? So obviously we've touched on the bottom half. We seem to be working our way upwards. Is there anything you'd like to perhaps point out about this area?
I would do the wolf pelt's teeth. I'd bring them up to a brighter bone color, and I would paint the nose and blacken the eyes and just put a little white dot in the middle. That's it. And if I were really going through it, I would use some milliput or something to plug those gaps on the pelt.
Oh yeah, I see that now. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's such a feature on the top of the model. You may as well really sell it.
Yeah, you really want that pelt to pop. For me, I did a little bit of darkened, like a black area on the back that made the wolf pelt look a little more real. I think the thing that you have to remember, and Logan's a great model for this, is you want the eye to be drawn to the model's face, which the easiest way to do that is make the face lighter than the rest of the model, because your eye is going to go to that. And with Logan, he's got white hair. He's a Santa Claus. So your eye automatically goes to it because his hair is going to be the lightest part of the model. And I think they captured that really well here.
All right, there's some great little tidbits of tips right there. Let me just see what people are saying in chat, if anything. So I did not. Actually, a weathering pad from Tamiya. So I think you saying he used some dedicated weathering pad from Tamiya to be able to create the frost effect.
All right, yeah, I haven't used that. I might have to check that out. I really like the armor color. It's like a nice halfway point from the a little bit more baby blue Space Wolves and the Heresy, slate gray Space Wolves.
Yes.
Also, really good edge highlighting. You didn't spill over on the edges.
No, you didn't. You did good. Okay. So overall, if you were to package him a little package of what to do going forward, obviously we've touched on different details. There's like an overall picture of maybe what you should take away.
Yeah, I would. Really, the biggest thing is the pelt and the axe. Those are the two parts that I would put a little work into, and after that, you're gonna be. I think you're gonna be a lot happier with it. Also, yeah, the wolf's nose. The wolf's nose is a little bit like it should be black.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Okay. I'm just gonna minimize that so we don't show any sensitive info. Oh, and let me make so you can see my stuff. All right, that was cool. That was great. Let me just and we're back. Okay, everyone can see me again. You should be able to see me too, right?
Yeah, I see you.
Excellent, cool. Let me show you. Is there anybody else right now currently in chat that has submitted some of their stuff that would like it to be gone over now? I'm not quite sure who's in there. If there's anybody else who's already sent some stuff that's waiting to do let me know anyway. Runway 5 says thank you very much, Gabe. You can probably see.
Yeah, you're absolutely welcome. I think you've got all the fundamentals now, and then you're only going to get better.
So somebody said, what's on the chopping block today? Well, personally for me over here, I'm just as and when I can, I'm working on this stomper head. I've got the rest of the stomper body here that's already been halfway done. I'm just just doing the head. I think you just got to spend a little bit of attention on that because you do see that before.
Really,
Before
I always
anything else.
love yellow orcs.
Yeah, they do look great. So I love the bad mids. Mine is only primed on Discord. Yeah, obviously it's a cool conversion, but we'll try to stick to stuff that's painted for now. So who else has got? I would please. I'll see. Comment in the Discord. Had emailed you more images. Okay, Lieutenant with combi in the Discord. Okay, we can go on custodies if you haven't yet. Okay, yeah. Mark, I know I've seen your stuff. We'll do that yet next, just before I can ascertain, Quinton Watson, who you
Can
are.
I ask about that?
Of course.
The tattoo on your wrist, is that the one ring?
Oh yes, it is,
around
mate.
your wrist?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I know that. It's some form of Elvish.
Yeah, it's not Arabic. People think it's Arabic if they don't know, but it is Elvish.
Been knowing my Lord of the Rings for some time. I was like, that's cool. It's a cool idea to make it go around your wrist.
Yeah, I've never seen anybody else do it like that, and it took them ages because they had to put that piece down and then the next bit, and they did them all one at a time, and it took a lot longer.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. We've got a few people in here that have sent their stuff.
We got a combi weapon that we need to look at.
Yeah, we do have a combi weapon we need to look at. I'm just going to go hunt that.
Combi LT.
A combi LT. I think it means a lieutenant, right? Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. The combi lieutenant. It was like an auto include in every Marine army, and then they raised the price, so people are running scouts now, from what I've seen.
So I'm glad I've got you here, Gabe, because some of the stuff that people have sent in is good. and some of the stuff that people sent in is better than mine, and I have no right to tell them what they should be doing. So I'm glad you're here.
Well, let's take a look. It looks like he's got an emperor there, and then
it does look like emperor, doesn't it? I'm not sure which one. I'll take this picture of this custodes first. Let's go for that one.
Yeah.
So
we got the
Mr.
old school.
So we've got.
Oh boy, that non-metallic metal is smooth.
Yeah, it's very good. It is very good. Sorry, and window captures. Okay, everybody can see that. All right, so what can we say about this one? I think it's really good. I think it's great.
Yeah, I think this is extremely good. The only thing I would add to it would be maybe a little texture to the cloth. And and bringing up the highlights on the knife a little higher, because it looks like you did 1, 2, 3, 4 layers on the blade, and the blade doesn't match the smoothness of the armor. I would smooth that out just a little bit, and then maybe on the cloth, you could either do stippling on it, to add texture.
That is what draws my eye, actually. The blade does draw my eye, and I wouldn't have noticed that if you hadn't put it into words.
Yeah, it's just the armor is so good. The armor is really good non-metallic metal. That thigh plate right there. I know, that's what I'm looking at smooth. Too.
So good.
That's just so smooth. And then, but then the blade and the cloth don't look as real. They look more cartoonish.
Yes,
and I think a little texture on the cloth and a little more maybe blending on the blade would get it for you. And then, okay, so I see what you're doing on those back vents. You're trying to give them a glow effect, and that's super cool. The way that I would bring that up a little bit is to go in with start off with a white oil wash, really thin, and then go in with a bright yellow, because that's going to go into the vents there, and it's going to make the details in the vents pop. Then you go in with a pale yellow wash, or a really watered down pale yellow, and go in there, and it's going to make it look like it's really a reactor in there.
Mark, I think this is Mark's stuff right now. Are you the fella from New Zealand? If so, it's probably 7 or 8 in the morning. I'm not sure if I'm talking to the same person, but I was just wanting to double check if that's who you are, or I'm getting my people mixed up. But no, sorry, mate. I'm sorry to. Oh, yeah, also, I would say that, yeah, again, like, unless I'm mistaken,
Right, the cloth is kind
yeah,
of flat.
yeah,
You're going to want to bring that up a little bit. If you really want to get crazy, you could do a little freehand trim around the edge, maybe like a white or another gold. You know, you could tie it into the rest with the gold. I think it's just.
Oh, that's so cool. Sorry, Mark's just put in the chat. Hey, yeah, it's 6:30 a.m. So he's woke up at the crack of dawn to be here.
You are dedicated, Mark.
Well, you will, yes. You deserve this praise. And Mark, to be honest, overall, mate, I think you're quite a naughty boy because these submissions, this is good painting, mate, and you're making it hard for me.
Yeah, this is really. I'll be honest. I think that's better than my non-metallic metal. That gold is better than what I can typically do. I don't usually do non-metallic just because I don't like how mine looks, and I should probably work on that. But yeah, yours is so smooth and so well done. I would work on the cloth and bring that up to the same level as the armor, and I think you're gonna be winning some awards.
Yeah, put it this way, mate. If you were to make a tutorial video on how to do the non-metallic metal the way you've done it, I think it would be very, very useful for people.
Yeah.
And they would watch it.
Yeah, like I can see the layering on it, but your color choice for the non-metallic is very good, and it reminds me of the El Miniaturista methods, and I think that's pretty high praise because he's really good. Yep, it is the Emperor.
That's so good, man.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
And I'll get the front picture of that. There you go.
Okay, so the only thing that I would say here is your OSL, your object source lighting, is you're going to need to work on kind of what I talked about with Logan Grimnir.
Yeah.
So the problem you've got is you've got a very bright miniature. And so making flames reflect on a bright miniature means you actually kind of have to make it a little darker. So I would. The armor looks good. The hair is a little bit. It looks like he's got blood in his hair. So I would probably just not do OSL on the hair. Because like black hair is not going to reflect that much when it's. Oh, excuse me. What's not reflecting as much on the armor. So I would probably just tone down the OSL on the hair, and just let it reflect off the armor.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem to me that the OSL doesn't really seem to diminish at all by the time it gets to the hair. It seems like it's the same color as it is right on the wrist.
Yeah. So you want, like, I would, if you want just very slight OSL on the hair, I think that would be fine. But as it is right now, it looks like he's like Angron. He's got blood all over his face.
Yeah. That's the same miniature.
Man, those flames are good. Those are really good flames.
Oh,
Can we get another shot of that? Yeah, let's take a look at that. Look at that. Look at how hot those flames look, man. And then up the wrist, it looks so good. Around that armor. I mean, the only thing I might add a little more yellow to the reflection on the armor. But man, it looks good. I don't know where this model is from. I assume it's printed somewhere, but I've seen a half a dozen different Emperor models, and I've never seen this one. So kudos to you for finding a model that I don't recognize.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, I do metallic paints too, Hayden. My recipe for Custodes Metallic is I start with a blue base, like ultramarine blue, and then I'll do a Zenithal gold, kind of I think Gehenna's gold was the right one, if I remember correctly. And then I'll go through with the bright gold and highlight it, and then silver for the extreme highlights, and it really makes Custodes look um, kind of untouchable because that blue base really brings up the gold. It's been very successful. In fact, I'm kind of considering selling my Custodes to make space.
So obviously, people will ask for advice for a world of different reasons. Some people are like, just beginning and want that help to kick up. Obviously, I would imagine
Clearly, he is not.
You are painting to really get to that next higher level. So I think you're well on your way, if not already there, mate. Very high praise from both of us.
Yeah, these look great. Like, I can't get over how good your non-metallic metal on the armor is. It's really good.
I'm staring at that thigh like it's prime Megan Fox right now. It's so good.
Hey, she's back on Instagram.
Oh, brother, don't let's not start. So, oh man, advice on skin tones would be great. So Runaway 5 says.
Yeah, sure. So I typically begin my like Caucasian skin tones with a sort of with like a dark flesh pink, like a pinkish darker flesh, and I work my way up to like a brighter, almost bone color, but not quite. I still like to have a little pink in there. I don't typically use washes on skin tone. The only time I'll do that is on orcs when I use a very light blue oil wash, which I know I keep saying oil washes. Everyone, that's like the big thing, but I love my oil washes and they've made life so much easier for me. So I keep using them.
Is that the stuff that I see where they take a long time to set and people like wipe them away with those egg brushes?
Yeah. I use a little makeup brush to wipe away the highlights on it. But also it just, even if you don't wipe it, it's such a more vibrant and better wash than like Nolan oil. I don't buy them. I just mix my own. I get mineral spirits and cheap oil paints from the paints from the hobby store and just mix them up in little cups. I probably got a half a dozen of them sitting next to my paint table they're already mixed up. Hair is my biggest challenge from Runaway 5. Hair, yeah. Well, if you want to do it the easy way, black hair is always the easiest.
Yeah, definitely.
If you want to really like not have to worry about hair, black hair is great. If you want like brownish hair, I have a very simple formula to you. Do scorched earth and then Rakarth flesh. Rakarth flesh is kind of this like beigeish color, and just go through and do each. You can honestly just dry brush hair with Rakarth flesh, but if you want to take it up a little bit from dry brushing, you just go through and do the strands of hair with that, and you're really done. Blonde and white hair are the hardest. Blonde, I start with a light earthy brown, and then go up with a kind of a golden sunset. I think it's Averland Sunset is the GW paint.
Yep.
And then a light pale yellow for the highlights. And it always comes out well. I did most of my Space Wolves blonde because they're Vikings. And also I really liked how the blonde hair looked on them with my Space Wolves have a little bit more bluish armor. and yellow and blue go together so well. So really pale blonde hair with like really really light blue armor looks great.
Okay.
So that's my recommendation for those hair styles. And then if you're doing white hair, I know something about white hair. I would do start with like a light gray and then just work your way up to white. Logan is a great practice for white hair because you get to do the braids and you can just dot in each of the little links in the braid. It's going to look great.
Okay. Yeah, I think a lot of people, I mean, when it comes to hair and faces, and a lot of people will always go, they'll go with that, with a helmeted option on everything if they can, and people avoid it. I think it's one of those things. Is once you find the technique, it's not as hard as people seem to think it is. I personally don't think.
Faces are the only time that I'll use a magnifying glass because I really want to get the detail on the face, and sometimes I just can't see the details. Like Titus has that scar across his face. He's got the service studs on his forehead, and I want to use a magnifying glass to get that right.
Okay, we're gonna pop onto the next one now. This one was sent in by Quinton. This is
that's good grimdark. Is that
I like it.
What chapter is that?
I believe it's Ravenclaws.
Is that Ravenguard?
Fuck, I said Ravenclaws. What an idiot. One sec. Okay, here we go.
Well, you're British, it's part of your culture and heritage.
Yeah, it's in deep in the DNA. All right, here we go. Ravenguard, I believe. It's black and white. Okay. All right.
Yeah, so, that looks really. I love. So I am not a grimdark painter. I've painted maybe 2 armies and one of them was Black Templars that were in a grimdark style, and so I'm probably not the best person to ask about this because I tend toward painting more smooth than the grimdark. But I love the John Blanche grimdark style when I see it. This one, the weathering on it is subtle, and I like that. Also, something that I really want everyone to make sure that they internalize is you see that blood on the blade. That's about as much blood as you want to put on most minis because blood
100%.
is you can overdo blood so easily. Even on models that like World Eaters that should be very bloody, you want to keep it kind of controlled because it can take away, it can ruin a model if you put too much blood on it. So that is, we'll call it a tasteful amount of blood.
Yeah.
But that's what you want to do. You want to keep it kind of light because people are going to focus in on that because it's a bright color. There are 2 bright colors on this model, his eyes and the blood, and that's exactly where that color should be. So hats off to that. If I was to offer any sort of criticism, I would say maybe the white is a little crustier on that arm than I would do. But also it's grimdark, so like it's kind of okay. He's supposed to look like he's been fighting in the trenches and going on, 12-day operations and so that's not. I feel like that's an unfair criticism for such a grimdark looking model. Maybe I like the pigments you used for the base. I think that really ties it in. I'm a big fan of dust on the boots. Harry, you're a space marine and a whopping good one.
And a whopping good one.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like this. I think it's cool. I can't tell if you drilled the barrel because it's facing down, which is always a good way to go because I hate drilling barrels, but I always do.
I'm an absolute heathen. I don't drill barrels. I don't know. It doesn't worry me.
I recently learned a technique for drilling barrels that made it a lot easier for me. I just take my X-Acto knife and I put the tip in the middle and I make a little, just spin it around and make a little tiny. keyhole,
Yeah.
and then I can put the drill on and get it dead center every time, and that has been
Right.
life changing.
What I thought you were going to say is some people do that. They'll stick like either one of the two prongs of their hobby cutters or a knife or something, spin it around, and then put some non-oil in and just let it dry, and it gives the effect that there is a hole there because of the blackness.
No, I still drill, but the problem I've always had with drilling is not being able to find the center. If I'm using the drill, sometimes I'm off to the side and it just looks wonky. But yeah, if you can. Oh, is this supposed to be? This is the combi lieutenant.
Yeah, it must be.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. I gotcha. Like is that a skull on his that he's carrying there? I saw the twin knives and I'm like, combi lieutenant. Gotcha. I thought he was just like an infiltrator or something. Yeah. Good weathering on the leather on the back. You didn't get too bright, which I like if you're trying to keep it in this style. Like, you kept everything very subdued. Also, good job weathering the decals. A lot of people don't do that. And you could end up with a decal on there of this very dingy, dirty model that looks really weathered, and then it has this bright, perfect decal on it. It just looks weird. So good job with that. Also, I'm guessing you used a really good matte varnish to bring down the gloss on that. And then skulls also didn't make the skulls too bright. Good job. You kept those nice and grounded. So yeah, I think you did a great job with your combi lieutenant. I wish I could offer more advice, but I think it looks great, especially for the style that you're going for.
Oh, he's got a little bit of blood by the knees as well, and a really tasteful amount.
Exactly.
That's perfect amount of blood.
And it's on the white too, so it shows up, but it's not overpowering.
Yeah, it's overall great. I mean, this is I love this kind of style of mini. I don't do much of the grimdark either. I mean, I like to do weathering and mud and rust, but grimdark's its own kind of thing with all these subdued darker tones. He's even done it well on the Kriegsman down there. Obviously, he's not supposed to be something that you look at beyond realizing, oh, it's a Kriegsman. He's dead. He's covered in dust and stuff, and I think he's done that perfectly. I also think his choice of the color and the composition of his basing is really nice as well. It's totally complements the rest of the model.
Yeah, the desert base with his use of pigments just makes it more realistic and more like he's been operating for some time now. He's got dust on his boots. The dust ties in the dead guardsman. Yeah, I think it's great.
Okay, what else have we got? So yeah, overall pretty glowing review there again. I've got some. So let's switch it up completely now, and let's have a look at some more beginner stuff. Maybe we can offer a bit more advice on these ones.
Yeah, it sounds like let's see, Hayden wants to show the towel.
Yeah, we'll get that back up for him. Gotta love how you get the black does look great. I mean, I started a Black Templar army, and I wish I'd picked a black army to have a go at painting before. You're very welcome, Quentin.
Also, Hamilton, Ryan. I'm sorry, I didn't say the R. I was like, Jan.
That's so funny you said Jan, because that's exactly what we did. That's what Mr. Tweed, who's usually on here, he said Jan Hamilton as well.
Yeah. You are right. Yes. And that's actually how I do Volkite weapons, because, they're like that long, they're not like a hole. They're just a line. So I just do a black line in the middle of my Volkites, because I'm not going to drill that. That's not something I care that much about.
Okay. So, all right.
Oh, what do we have? Ice towel.
Ice towel. All right.
Ice towel.
Hayden, this is for you again, bud. I'll pop in that window back up, and There you go. Right. Jan Hamilton says every time, laughing face. He's Jan Hamilton
Jan
in this
Hamilton,
chat.
Jan.
Yeah, he's been renamed. He is Jan Hamilton now. Anyway, there you are.
He's a German. Let's see. Look, I think the white is really good. I think the white is nice and smooth. Also, Tau infantry are one of those middle units that are slightly harder to paint than your easiest armies, but they're not like on the level of like orcs and guardsmen. Let's see. So really here, white is a really hard color to do. It's one of the hardest because any mistakes show up. So you see like that arm shoulder pad. You got a smudge there, and if that was any other color, that would be barely visible. But on white, it shows up and it's unforgiving. So I do like that you went through and did the decals, the sept markers on them. I think that really adds a lot, because otherwise you would just have white armor, black cloth. One thing you can do on the cloth to make it not look just black is go in with like Mechanicum gray and do highlights on the cloth. You could go up 2 colors, honestly, on the gray, and it won't be so jarring to look at next to the white. For the white, though, there's not much you can do to these models because they are all completely white now. So you want to leave, unless you wanted to repaint them or do another one. What I would do if I were going to do this unit again would be I would start with like a gray, and then work my way up to white, like even a light gray, like Celestrum gray or Ulthorn gray, and then edge highlight the white.
That's exactly what I said. I thought that like he's beginning into painting and hobbying, and I think most of his problems are stem from the fact that, one, he's picked Tailfire Warriors, which are pretty hard to paint because they've got all these different bits that need to be caught, but also the fact that he has chosen the white as his color scheme has definitely turned the difficulty up for him.
Yeah. You came into this on hard mode, man.
Absolutely.
One thing that I think you could do to these models to make them look a little better is the black parts of the weapons that you've got there. I would go in and do those in lead belcher, and maybe if you really want, add a Nuln Oil wash over those metal bits. But right now, your models are 3 colors. They're black, white, and red. That's the whole model. The bases add more color than the models do.
Yeah.
So I would add some metallics where the metallics go. And then, they have those little camera lens on their helmet. Do that area in silver, and then put a little red dot in that where that lens is, so that you have something to focus on those faces. Because even helmets are a lot easier than faces, but that's still where you want your attention drawn on a model. And so you need a little splash of color there, a little focal point that people can zero in on when they're looking at your models. Let's see. Yeah, I would do the black weapon bits and the vents, like basically everywhere that there's metal, you've got it painted black. I would go in with lead belcher and paint it that like dark silver color, because it's going to add a little bit more color. You'll be able to see the detail on the weapons and the vents and everything, instead of it just being dark and black. And hey, you're doing the thing with the oh yeah, see, I really like the gray on the thigh pads, like the thighs. I think the gray looks really good there, and you could just go through and do some edge highlighting in white, and it would look really good. Also on the chest plate there, where it's a little bit more gray, yeah, edge highlight that white, and it's going to bring that model up quite a bit.
Have a look at. So I think this is his gunship or whatever it is, Devilfish. I thought this is the best model of the lot.
Yeah, you did a really good. I imagine you used some sort of like wash or something to get down in those crevices, and it looks awesome. It has so much more texture and detail than the other models. I would clean up a few places on it, like the canopy there, and then again, I would do the metal parts in the drone. I would do the metal parts in metal. I think that would add a lot to it. And it's a really easy step to do because it's already black. So you could just go in and dry brush lead belcher on that, and it's going to look awesome.
I'd love to know if you've got so basically what he's doing next is he's doing the Farsight Cadre. Farsight Cadre, is that what you call it? What do you call it? Yeah, Farsight Cadre. So he said he's looking for some concepts to improve on as he gets ready to paint the Farsight Cadre. So what you've from he's also said, I just did some Agrax mixed with Lamian. Oh yeah, for for all the recess.
That's shapes. Really good. Usually that gets all over the place when I do it. So you got good control on that. Farsight tends to be red. If you're going to do it in the white paint scheme,
I think he is going to do it in red. He said. I think he said that.
Okay. Red, I usually do like a darker base, darker red base, like a rust base. And then I bring it up to Evil Sun's Scarlet, I think. Maybe a few darker orange, like Wild Rider red, which is orange. It is not red. But I do that on some of the edge highlighting. And that really comes across well for Farsight. My towel are blue and red. They are the beach towel. They're all splashing in the water and having a good time. They got crabs on their bases. So I love painting towel. I think there's just so much free space on the models that you can do stuff with.
I'd say get a bloody airbrush. I would never want to tackle this without an airbrush.
No, God, no. I would not want to paint white without an airbrush.
And if you didn't use an airbrush, I think you did really, really well on that. That tank without an airbrush. Very, very smooth color.
Also, don't let anyone tell you need a $200 airbrush. You don't. I get $30 airbrush from Amazon. It usually lasts me about 2 years, and then I get a new one because it's $30. Because I use I just beat my airbrush to death. I don't normally clean it. No. I leave it in water, and it just keeps everything. Then I blow out the water and put in the next color. Like, yes. I am hard on my airbrushes, but they work well for me, and I'm not going to spend hundreds of dollars on an airbrush because I've had the $100, $150, $200 airbrushes before, and they lasted just as long and did just as well as the $30. So you're not paying for quality. You're just paying for really for influencer reviews.
Yeah. I mean, I've had airbrushes that I took really good care of. And I've had airbrushes that I kind of didn't because I didn't really know. And they both just stopped fucking working and got clogged by...
Right.
Yeah, it's just, yeah. They don't need... I mean, I think like 40, 50 quid. That's like the equivalent of about $60, $70 is all you'd ever need to spend on an airbrush max.
Yeah, I wouldn't spend more than that. That's plenty for an airbrush.
Yeah. You want super, super nice. So what's everybody saying? Okay, you just use the white primer for the Devilfish. Yeah, that makes sense, to be fair. I often let the primer do a lot more work than classic tutorials might tell you to. Hey, back in the day when you used to be following on those tutorials, you know, it's different now. But they used to like, okay, so you've got this black mini now. Spray him Chaos Black. Okay, first thing we're going to do is now relayer the whole thing in Abaddon Black. It's like, oh, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. A black base is all you really need most of the time, and then you can just go up from there. I'm a big fan of Zenithal airbrushing.
Yes.
I'll go through and get like the main, whatever the hardest color is going to be. That's what I use the airbrush for. And after that, it's all wet brushing and dry brushing and layering and everything. But if I can get the hardest layer down with the airbrush, then it makes everything else so much easier.
What do you think about slap chop, and are there any new techniques, and maybe not that, but like that's something I've implemented a few times.
I like slap chop. I think what I like about slap chop is there's a lot of like it's a baseline. You can slap chop a model and then do some layering, do some edge highlighting, do some dry brushing, and have a really good looking model that didn't take you 6 days to paint. And so slap chop is really useful as like you can leave it at what you did with slap chop. Like you could just, you know, zenithal and use your contrast paints, and then you're done. You could totally do that, but you could also use it as a jumping off point for the rest of your paint job.
Okay, and as far as new techniques go, is there anything that you've started to implement recently that's a little bit different to what you usually do, or any new progressions in your toolbox, as it were?
With painting, not quite as much as with basing.
Okay.
I really brought up my basing game a lot when I started doing my towel, because I learned how to do waves and splash effects and stuff. Honestly, like I watched some tutorials. They were helpful to give me an idea of what I wanted to do, but then I kind of went through and got it myself the way that I really wanted it. And it's involved. I've got it pinned on my Instagram how I do splash effects. So if anyone's interested in that, they can go check it out. Gabriel Thorn's on Instagram. But as for the last big revolution I had with painting was when I discovered oil washes, and that was game changing, and that was a while back. Let's see. Nothing too crazy from there though. It's all just been layering, edge highlighting, and dry brushing. Because if you're good at those three things, you'll be fine. You'll just continue to improve as a painter.
I've literally just got this, not in the last week or two. This is an actual dedicated dry brush, but I've just been using.
Like good dry brush.
It was like 12 quid, which is about $16-17. And it was it's good. I mean, I've only just ever used clapped, beat up old brushes to do dry brushing until now, but now I'm a real person. I'm a real official dry brusher.
You're gonna really enjoy doing fur with that.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna have to get something with fur on now.
I guess you got to do some orcs or space wolves.
Yeah, sure. Okay, well, you just touched on it just briefly, but I'd love to get a bit deeper in on this with you, because I am a big proponent of doing a decent base on a miniature, and I think it's something that people are far too easy to skip over. They'll spend about 12 hours on a mini and then like 5 minutes on the base and just color it or dry brush it or something. So I'd love to talk about how you what's the word, not psychology, your mental approach as it comes to basing a miniature, what you like to think about and how you approach it.
So I am, if there's anything that I am an apostle in painting on, it's finish your models with a good base. Basing is half the surface model of your model. Like
Absolutely.
if you are not finishing your bases, then your models are unfinished. They're just not going to look good. And the way to make you can make a very simple base, that looks good. Some of my armies, in fact, one of my most popular armies has the simplest base. It's just Vallejo basing material, desert base. I just go with like a kind of dirty yellow on it, and then I airbrush a bone color, and that's it. That's the base. But it matches the army so well that I don't need to do anything. If I did something else, it would ruin it. Um, and you can do that. You can put down pigments. Work really well for like desert bases or like blasted out battlefields. Those look good. What you want to do is take into consideration the the main colors of your army, with how you can either make it match your base and make it look like they're wearing good camouflage, or you can make it very contrasting with your base. Like my Votan are mostly orange. I did them in Black and Decker colors. And their bases are like this mossy green with these like little tufts, and I airbrush the tufts on there to match the green on the base so that there's nothing really jarring about it. And they look great because that green offsets the orange. And if you are new to painting, you may not know a lot about color theory. I recommend that you just pull up a color wheel on Google, and what you want to do is you want to match contrasting colors. So you'll see a color on one side of the color wheel, you want to match it to its opposite. So like blue and yellow. Blue and yellow work great together. They are excellent contrasting colors. So like that's why ultramarines are always blue and gold, because those two colors go well together. Green and red. Green and red that's Christmas colors, but also Dark Angels look great with their green with red robes, and the red symbol on their shoulders. Let's see, teal and orange are my personal favorite. Teal and orange look fantastic together. Every Michael Bay movie that you've ever seen, like for like 10 years, every movie was just teal and orange. That was the paint scheme, or the color scheme for every movie. Like when Avatar came out, everyone started using that same paint progression on everything. So we were terrorized in the early 2000s by teal and orange color schemes. But there's a reason for that. It looks really good. You go back and look at the Transformers movies, that's the main colors that they use throughout the movie. But yeah, for your basing, you want your base to either complement your model or contrast with it. And so that's how you go about selecting the color of your basing. I recommend tufts, wildflowers, static grass, cork for rock. Get some like rough cork, put it down there. And if you really want to get nuts, get some UV resin for water effects.
Okay. I'm just going to ask a quick question, guys. If there's anybody else in here that hasn't had anything shown and would like it, please do let me know, because I've kind of lost track of what I've shown and who belongs to who, because some people's usernames aren't the same as their emails. So just drop a little comment as if you'd like, if you've got some stuff and you'd like it shown. I'm just going to read out some stuff. So Hayden says he's going to go back and edge highlight some of those great black elements. He says the base is honestly my favorite part of the army, making each one different to add some variety in there. And he also asks you, was the blue ice base a good idea? I feel like it contrasts well enough with my army.
Yeah, well, your army, I would probably add some snow effects to it.
I think
just a little more snow on the base. White modeling paste is my go-to for snow. And there's just more blue than what I would put on it. But if you like how that blue contrasts with the red and the white, then I think you just leave it.
Sorry,
I think it looks good.
Somebody just said Pixel Brit 2506 says Goblin green base with flock just makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside.
Yeah, me too. I love the old guy. I miss Goblin Green. Just flocked Goblin Green, black rim, done. Also, paint the rims of your bases, because that's part of the model tube, and that's basically the frame for your picture here.
Oh, did you send that on Discord or email? Malcolm Fly. And also, I don't know what that typing is that I just did there. That was me trying to do it really fast. That's makes me look completely illiterate. Yeah, where did you put it? Did you put it into Discord? I think you did. Oh, veteran guardsman. We've got all sorts of stuff in here actually to look at, guys. Okay. Okay, all right. There's a lot more here than I thought it was, guys. Okay. Where are we? Who just said they put what? So it sent an email. Okay, I'll pull that up since you have directly requested I do so. So let me just minimize that so we don't see your email. I think I may have slipped up on that earlier on with someone else, but I don't think you'll have anybody turning up at your house or anything. Okay, been wanting to revisit my Morty. Please let me know where you think I can improve it. Okay, let's pull this up and let's have a little a look-see doodle. Have you done much of the old, like gruesome, rotten plague bearer kind of stuff?
Yeah, I've done 2 Death Guard armies. This one looks like it's kind of that pale green, which is what I want to paint my next one in. So right off the bat, it's a lot of green. If you want to, I really like the weathering, the rust and everything. That looks really good.
It looks particularly grimy. Like rather than rusty, it looks grimy.
Really, really Death Guardy. What I would do here, the thing that stands out to me here is the cloth is just one color. It's just pale green, and I would go through and do some highlights on that, bring it up a little higher, and maybe go through with like a very, very light green to add some texture or some color to the cloth, because the armor looks great, but the cloth is really flat.
Yeah, it's hard to say what to give advice on here, mate, because it looks to me like the miniature isn't finished. But what?
Yeah, can we look at the wings?
Of course you can. Yeah, I'll find a different picture. I'm sure.
Let's see the. Oh yeah. I don't think the wings are done. I think he's
okay. That looks like looks like it's even more weathered than that picture.
Yeah. This one looks like it's a little bit. The wings look very like rusty, which is interesting. I haven't seen that before. I would go through and do the spikes on the wings, the little like frills on the top, and I would just add a little bit more detail to it. A little, like I would maybe dry brush the wings. If you wanted to do it fast, yeah, you could just dry brush the wings, dry brush the cloth, and I think you'll be a lot happier with it. But yeah, as it is, it looks like it's still waiting for a few coats.
Yeah, definitely.
On the wings and the cloth.
One thing that I would probably do that just springs to mind in kind of like an anatomical, logical sense is you've got these cool grime drip patterns on the wings. However, that connotes to me that these wings have been spread open in this position for like a very long time, whereas actually they'll be curled up and onto his back. So I would personally change the drip direction. I would have done it the other way, like down towards where they would be furled in. To me, it looks like, that's how it would be if he was a statue. I'm not even sure if you would have a build-up of grime on wings like that. Maybe you could have set these so they pop against the grime, Maybe, since they're insectoid wings, perhaps them having this grime on them isn't as realistic. I know it's very tempting to just put grime on everywhere you can, but maybe that's something to think about at least.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. The wings, the wings just need a few more coats of whatever you're gonna do. But I would bring a little more color to the wings, a little bit more to the cloths. But then I think you're good. Then it's just basing time.
Excellent. Okay, we've got all sorts of other ones. So
I'm gonna have to get off here in just a little bit because my battery is running low.
That's fine, mate. We've covered a lot more than I thought we might be able to. What is that? Sinful Seraph. Okay. Sinful Seraph for being here. So let's go over this. Oh, these look great. Okay, alright, bear with me. I'm gonna switch this to so you guys can see it. Properties. Boom. Okay. So check that out. This is from Simple Seraph in here. He's put in. These look like Gaunt's ghosts, right? I think. Can you see those, Gabe?
Yeah. I can.
sorry.
Let's get a closer view, and
there you go. Oh, that's about it. That's about as close as I can get you.
Yeah, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit on my side. Oh, these look great. Yeah, I love the basing, the diorama. The camo cloaks look good. Let's see. Oh God, yeah, these really do look good. I don't have a lot to offer on this one, to be honest. This is a solid solid job.
You naughty boys sending good miniatures in.
No, I don't. There's not a lot I would add here. It's very clean. Even the stubble on Bragg there looks right.
I would say that fella down the bottom with the dirk, he looks a bit Scottish to me.
Yeah, he does. He looks like he's wearing a tartan.
Yeah, it does. They do. It does have that effect just on that one, but I can see that it's not, obviously. No, those are great, man.
Yeah, the flesh looks great. Yeah, I got nothing. Nothing that I would really add to that.
Hayden says, "Why can't everyone just be mediocre like me?"
Right. Believe me, I recently had a commission that canceled on me because they didn't like it was an ultramarine commission, and I sent him the pictures and he just didn't like it. He couldn't really articulate what he didn't like, but I was just like, I'm not trying to play 20 questions and guess what it is that you don't like about this. So I just sent him back.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes something's just so like innate and subjective that like nobody could ever put the finger on it, and it just is what it is sometimes, I guess. What can you do? Yeah,
I think he was like thinking that he was going to get like Golden Demon winning models, and I was like, yeah, that's a lot more money than what you paid, man. Like I paid for like you could win best painted at a tournament with this. But each mod, it was like a whole half of an Ultramarine army, and I was like, I'm not painting these to Golden Demon standard.
Yeah, no, that's just a false economy. Runaway 5 says, mediocre is halfway to being pretty sort of good.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
Oh yeah, that's great. I mean, I'll tell you what. If your battery's running out, let's give you a graceful exit rather than your phone
All
dying.
right.
But I think I can say on behalf of everybody in stream and myself that was absolutely wonderful, and thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to do it, mate. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. I always love getting to see some great models and talking to cool people. So yeah, I look forward to doing it again soon.
Excellent, mate. That's wonderful. All right, everybody go follow Gabe on Instagram. It's Gabe of Thorns. I think most of your stuff is over on Instagram and TikTok, right?
Yeah, yeah, Instagram and TikTok. I don't really do Facebook that much anymore.
So I'm opposite to you. You've got the bloody motion. You've got motion on Instagram, bro. You've got a lot of followers on there. Instagram just doesn't work for me. It just doesn't push me at all.
All I do is I record, for the most part, I just record stuff on TikTok and then I cross post it on Instagram. Because TikTok has good video editing, so that's what I do there.
It does. All right, well, thank you very much, and have a good rest of your day, mate. I know your day's just halfway through. Yeah. Ours is soon to end, but take it easy, mate. Right. Look after yourself.
All right, thanks. You too.
Bye-bye. There we go, guys. It's just us now. What a lovely gentleman he is, and I would stress that everybody go and show him some love on his socials, because it's not many people would take the time out of the day to come and talk to a small community and offer free advice for nothing but out of the kindness of his heart and passion for the game. Oh, what a gentleman. Can't say enough good things about that guy. Right, well, you know, obviously that section of the stream's done now. It's just me, myself, and I, and you guys. So take it from me, I will not hold it against any of you if you'd like to leave the stream now and go and do what you want to do or whatever, because I'm just about to do a little bit more weathering on this guy. Things are probably going to slow down a little bit, and I'll try my best to keep you guys entertained. If you can throw some stuff at me as we go, we're going to start winding down to a bit of a slower pace, less action. I'm not going to lie. So, but yeah, that's great. If anybody else is thinking about getting some stuff together to send in, please do. This is going to be a regular thing. I think we're looking at maybe doing this once a week. So it's a very valuable point of contact for myself and for all of you guys to have a weekly place where you can come and get some real value. Because think about it for a sec. I cannot remember any time ever in my entire hobby life cycle, as you could say, where somebody of such rapport, caliber, and professionalism and understanding has sat down and looked at one of my models for 10 to 15 minutes at a go, dissecting it and telling me exactly what I should do. That's such there's so much value to that, and yeah, what a guy. I hope that this has been great for all of you guys. And to be honest, I'm a bit remiss. I didn't ask him about any of my stuff. I was what can you do? I think next time I'm going to have to be a little bit selfish and ask him for a couple tips for myself. But if you haven't already, maybe perhaps when you finish this one, our first stream that me and Gabe did was very eye-opening. That was more about him and what it's like to be a commission painter, and all about him back in the day and his Golden Demon stuff, and how he approaches commission painting or Golden Demon painting, and just what it's like, and also how if somebody wanted to be a commission painter, we were talking about how you would even get into that. How would you even start that thing? What does it take to be one? That was some of the main topics we talked about. So if you've got a bit of time after this, or through the week, or whenever you fancy listening to something like that, that's on the channel for you to go and have a look at. But Runaway Vibe says, nah, mate, we got the starter. Now I'm here for the main course. That's what I like to hear. I like it. Nobody's left as well. So thank you very much, guys. that's great. And so there's another section that I'm wanting to introduce onto here. So I've if you look at the bottom of the contents, you've got what's new. That's when we just start in and we talk about what's new. Then we've got focus and chat, where we just kind of do what we're doing and chat along. And then we've got the community showcase there, you can see at the bottom. That's what we've just done. And then a bit more hobbying after that. And then I've got community hot takes. So what that is there is a collection of hot takes that I collected from the internet, from Reddit. And I asked the community, what are your most egregious hot takes? Something about the hobby that gets everybody up in arms when you say it, but you know in your heart that it is true. Or at least you believe it to be true. And I had like 400 submissions from that, over 400. So I've got a big repository of people's controversial takes, which you may agree with or you may not, and we can have a little bit of a back and forth over what do we think. Do we think they're hot? Do we think they're not? Do we think it's some of them I found to be just people who everybody was kind of agreeing with each other, but some of them were very interesting. But I'm not sure if we'll get onto that tonight. I think it would be a good idea to have a couple more voices on the stream, and on brand with that, talking about a couple more voices, we've got a couple we've got a new fella who has agreed to start joining the stream. So you've got me, Mr. Tweed, who was here the other night. Those are the two voices you heard, and of course we've got Gabe, who's going to be a weekly or bi-weekly addition to do that section that we just did. We've also got a fella who is active over on TikTok called Veteran Guardsman, and he does painting tutorial videos, short form tutorial videos, and he's a man of the guard. He's agreed to start coming on the stream, so he will be another recurring voice that you hear on these things. And basically what I'm trying to do is like have this feel like you guys are like sat hobbying and listening into a hobby chat like beside you. There's like some guys with you having a conversation that you can put some input in and be part of it and make it feel like we're actually sat in a room together getting on with this hobby and not just doing it alone. Because this used to be such a social hobby. This never used to be, for me, like this. You used to be able to go and do this hobby. I don't mean go and play the game. I mean you could go and do the hobby. You could pile all your stuff into a box, all your paints, your models that you're working on, head on down to the Games Workshop, whack your stuff out and start hobbying and chatting to people, and you get tips and inspiration and you share stories, and that's how you learned about the hobby back in the day. And if we can recreate that on the internet together, that classic feel of all getting on with it together and working through that pile of shame with some like-minded individuals enjoying some lovely company on the internet, then our little corner of the world's going to be a much better place. So Pixel Brit says, that's me, that's a Veteran Guardsman right there. So what's up, bro? How's it going? Yeah, it'd be great to have you on. I know you're on kitchen duties, but whenever you want, I've added you into that section so you can just join in on the call and jump in on the action anytime you like. And that, to be honest, guys, like that goes for anybody. If you're in here right now, I feel like this is like the beginning. Yeah, Jan Hamilton says pile of opportunity, not pile of shame, pile of opportunity. And Renegade Side says, yeah, dude, even local game stores have become a rarity. Yeah, man. Even in your local game stores, there's very rarely is there a hobby area to go and enjoy, and obviously in Games Workshops, that's not a thing anymore. As a beginner, you can go get a painting lesson, but you can't really pitch up, as it were. So yeah, no, that goes for anyone, guys. If you're in here, I kind of feel like this is the beginning of this community. Still, we're still in the little stage of the initial gathering of guys. So if there's anybody in here that would like to like talk on the stream, let me know. Give me a DM on Discord. I'll give you a call. We can have a little talk. And nothing. I'm not gonna, it's nothing formal. I just want to have a chat to you. And then you can, by all means, hop in on the voice call on the Discord, and that'll be what you hear on stream. I've got absolutely no qualms about letting people get involved if they'd like to do that. Hell yeah, that's what it's about. So yeah, right then. Well, this is called Hobby with the Homies. Let's do a bit of hobby, eh? So I kind of feel like I'm more of a production DJ than I am a hobbyist at this point. I barely get anything done on these things at the minute. So yeah, I remissed about not doing this orc first. I've done everything else and almost under. God, I need to do the orc. Absolutely. Just Runaway 5. Just drop me a message in the Discord. We'll have a chat about it. So as it pertains to like we'd like more stuff to be shown. Like if multiple of us are hobbying and have decent enough ability to film ourselves with decent quality, you don't have to have a bloody recording studio or anything. As long as the audio and video quality is halfway decent, it doesn't need to be as good as mine. As long as it's halfway decent, we can tell what you're doing and we can hear you with no weird background fuzz and stuff, then anybody can join in. I think maybe the maximum we could have on stream of like showing people is maybe 2 or 3, but audio, if you want to join in voice, like I say, we could have up to 4 people, as long as we don't talk over each other, which is harder than you would think to do when there's a little bit of latency. And yeah, we're no Mordian glory, guys, but we don't need to be. We only need maybe a dozen good lads, and believe me, we can have some good times. Okay. So, what should we do? What should we do? We've been going for nearly 2 hours now. Not sure how much longer we'll take this one for. I'm kind of at the point where I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, what more is there to do? I wish I'd asked Gabe. I was about to ask him, but I wish I'd asked him what he thinks of this so far and where I can improve a little bit, but we didn't. So we'll have to figure it out for ourselves. Use the old noggin. I think I'm gonna do another layer on these horns, and then we'll get some shade on them, and that'll start to look like a real thing, and then maybe we'll start doing some work on the orc itself. Oh, I just got a buzz from... One sec. I'm just gonna have to check that out. Okay, mate. I just got that thing. Vet Guardsman. I have to read that in a bit. I don't know. I have no idea. I've never said anything like that. Okay. Right. So. What does everybody reckon that Astra Militarum box is going to cost? I think it's probably going to end up being about 130. 128 quid, I reckon it's going to be. That's about as much as I want to pay it with my discount on the top of it. One thing I've noticed is like people love to like. It's weird, man. People love to too much. Too much as always. An arm. I don't know. I think it might be a leg. No, it's yeah, it's gonna be stupid. Yeah, no matter what it is, it's gonna be overpriced. People were talking about this in the comment section. Someone says, "Oh, it'll be overpriced," and I said, "Well, it all is, isn't it? At the end of the day, Pixel. Oh, okay. Vet Guardsman reckons it's gonna be 200 quid. Damn, if it's 200 quid, I don't know if I'm gonna bother, because even with a discount, what's that? That gets it down to like 160. Like, nah, that's too much. I hope it isn't that. It's definitely not worth that. I mean, it's been accelerated inflation in this hobby, because the real big telling culprit of it is the combat patrol stuff. If you look at the combat patrols now, you'll kind of notice that the composition of a combat patrol, while they are now like 105 quid or something, they have the contents of what a start collecting box used to have. So not only, right, have you raised the price, you've lowered the contents for the price, and it's like a fucking vector of absolute pocket rents. So yeah, do you know what it is, Runaway 5? The designers are on point, and it is overpriced, and I bet that they're underpaid. 100%. It's like in I don't know if you guys are into it, but I'm really big into my MMA, both in like real life and watching it and stuff. And the UFC's like that as well. They every single year record profits and no increases in pay, or absolutely nominal increases of pay to the people who actually make the thing possible, which is the fighters. But it's ideal for me because I'm still growing my Astra Militarum army. It's talking about the box. I really want that commissar in that truck too. Okay, Jan Hamilton reckons 120, 140. I'm the same, yeah. Once it's broken up, it'll be around 200 value. Yeah, so those trucks are probably going to be about 32 a piece. As the hippogriffs, I reckon they'll be 32 a piece, maybe even 38. Well, 32 would actually be pretty. They're a new kit as well, so it'll be right at the top end of the price line. So I think what's a Lehman Russ at these days? It'll be similar to what a Lehman Russ is at. Let's have a look. Lehman Russ tank Warhammer. Let's have a look. A Lehman Russ right now is going for the low price of £42.50. Yeah, well, to be honest, I understand that it's a smaller variant. It's a smaller kit, but it's a new kit. I wouldn't be surprised if it was £42.50 as well. So you got £42.50, you got like 85 quid for the two of those. Then that Centaur is probably going to be about the same. So you're looking at, my maths is absolutely ass, by the way. 120 right there. £122.50. And then what else is in there? Then there's a squad of guys and a Rogel, and the Rogel's like 60 quid. So that knocks you up to about 180, 182, and then there's a guardsman on top, which is another 30 quid, which pops us around about 210, about 215. I don't know if that fucking maths tracks. I am a bit of a retard, guys, but yeah, that would, yeah. I would, yeah, to be fair, if that's right, that's tracking at around 200 to 215 pounds broken up. I wouldn't actually be surprised if it ended up being 150, 160 quid. And if it is, I ain't getting it. Oh, thank you. I've just been handed a, what's that, tea? Yeah. I needed that. And cheese and apple. I've been handed a cup of tea and some cheese and apple, lads. This is for the only reason you should get married, is so you get food ferried up to you without asking for it. No wedding ring yet. You've got there's an engagement ring right there. Yeah, we've got a booked wedding.
That's my cheese king.
Right, you've overstepped now. Get out of me fucking den. Oh yeah, I thought you were talking in pounds for a second. It's like 37. Oh bloody. No, yeah. Okay, so I was leaning towards more of a Chimera cost, but I don't know, it could be totally wrong. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, as logical individuals, Pixel, Brit, Veteran Guardsman, as logical individuals, we would come to that assumption, wouldn't we? Because it's a smaller kit, it's a little transport, but GW like, but didn't you notice it's brand new? Yes, and I know you wanted, you little slag. And then they slap us across the hand, across the face with a white gloved hand, and say that'll be fucking £37, £42.50, you fucking little bastard, you. It's like, that's what we get off them. Hayden says, I forgot you were talking in pounds, and for a second I was like, $37, that's really good, yeah. $37 would be really good. You must be from the US or somewhere, Hayden. I had assumed for some reason, without any prompt, I'd assumed you were from the UK. I don't know why. But yeah, $37. Yeah, wouldn't that be good? Wouldn't that be nice? Oh, okay. We like a good grumble over here, guys. If you like, this is something I've been noticing recently, and it's got me bemused, right? I really saw it in the wake of these new Adepticon releases, right? You'll have a post, and somebody will put a comment up saying, "Oh, I like this, but I was really disappointed that they didn't do this or whatever, or I didn't quite like this bit," and then and they're just stating their opinion, which they're totally allowed to have. And there's always somebody in the comments that goes, "Oh, there's always somebody whinging." Like, why do people like just assume and decide that nobody's allowed to have a negative opinion about this completely subjective thing? It's like, it's not whinging to say, "Oh, I don't really like this new release," or whatever. It's like, you're totally just entitled to not like something. People get very, very, very sensitive and very uppity when somebody doesn't like something that they've decided they liked, rather than just go, "Oh, that's just their opinion," and moving on. There's nothing wrong with a good whinge, especially when it's a company like Games Workshop that really love to rinse people and really have been milking our udders till they bleed. And if you want to have a little bit of a cathartic whinge about it, then you can do whatever you want. Just in the same way that if somebody likes something, nobody jumps down their neck. So I'm not going to... This isn't a whinge-free zone. If you want a little whinge about Games Workshop, you just go ahead and bloody do that, my good friend. I'm not going to tell you what you can and can't say. Lovely looking rust on that stomper. Thank you. I'll give you another little zoomed in view there. So it's really, really fun doing rust, and actually I've just been doing the chipping on it. I figured that the rain would collect on that top bit and rust it really fast, and that's where I went with it. Yeah, Runaway 5 says you can actually not agree with someone and still be friends with them. I know it as well. I know, right? Like, we've forgotten how to just disagree with each other. I remember when I was in college, I had this friend, and we were diametrically opposed in our views on spirituality and religion. And he reckoned that there was another a some kind of astral spirit realm of where he could learn to completely transport his soul if he meditated hard enough. And I was like, that's fucking bollocks. And he was adamant that he could do it, but never had, or whatever. And we go back and forth oh, this and that and this and that. And he was an evolution denier and stuff and whatever. Now, you're totally entitled to that opinion, but back then we had it out. We went back and forth and back and forth. And eventually, it was getting we were getting angry with each other. And then one day we were sat there and I said, "Look, you're not going to change your opinion, and I'm not going to change my opinion. So let's just agree that we just disagree on this." And we shook hands. And then we moved on and we realized, why haven't we done this already? And then we just went back to just having a good time. And I think people need to learn to do that a little bit more. It's not the be-all and end-all. And in fact, you will never, ever in your entire life find an individual who agrees with everything that you agree with. And you shouldn't look for that in people. It doesn't exist. It can never exist. And trying to find people that you agree with on absolutely everything, or force people to agree with you on absolutely every single one of your whims that change like leaves in the wind. This is another thing, opinions on things change. I change my opinion on a certain topic 4 or 5 times a bloody year, depending on what I see and what's the most relevant information that I've remembered that's in my brain that's poking me that's poking me when I think about it. So yeah, there's all that. For instance, I made a video heavily criticizing this miniature that came out on Adepticon. I said it looked like garbage, it looked like something from Age of Sigmar, and that they should burn it and whatever. And I got a lot of backlash on that video. I was like, guys, it's not actually that deep. At the end of the day, it is a Warhammer miniature, and I don't really hate it. I just don't like it, and I'm trying to play it up for entertainment. But since then, looking at it again and hearing a bit more context about the character, I've actually come to I kind of like it now. And that's just how fickle people can be. So to stamp your flag in the ground and go after somebody over what is merely a subjective opinion is crazy. And you shouldn't let that affect your psyche, what other people's opinions are about things. But anyway, So, Runaway 5 says, so you can actually change your opinion when offered new information and insights. Man is spitting pure wisdom tonight. Yeah, I mean, you should never marry yourself to an opinion. That's where all the terrible stuff starts to happen. Because then you start like selectively listening to information. And a lot of people hear something and go, oh, that abrases against my chosen opinion, and therefore I must disregard it, rather than letting your opinion be the thing that's fluid, and the things that are outside being the things that that can change that, rather than the other way around. But anyway, this got philosophical, didn't it, boys? But yeah, these are good things to talk about. But we don't want to go too deep on religion and politics and stuff. But these are good things to talk about, I think. Yeah? Everybody can take a little bit from that in this day and age where everything seems to just be a big, long argument on every single topic on the internet. From the minute you open your feed in the morning, it just seems to be people arguing and trying to force whatever their opinion is down your throat. Even if I don't agree with your opinion, you are, by all means, entitled to have that opinion. I commend you to have it and speak it with your chest, brother. So, I think he's an Inquisitor from the Order. Xenos said he specialise with anything alien, I think. Yeah, so his mount being alien, I was like, it doesn't make sense to me. It looks stupid because, well, it's all alien and you're supposed to be Inquisitor, but with the context that Inquisitors kind of like flirt with it a bit and just kind of dance around and they can kind of do what they want, and it kind of makes sense. And when somebody pointed out that he looks like an old British Empire trophy hunter, I was like, okay, I like him now. I like him now. He looks quite cool. I wouldn't buy him. Look, it's not my cup of tea in the sense that I want to go out and buy him for my army. I don't really do the old Inquisitors thing with my Imperium army. But in maybe a slightly less garish paint scheme for the mounts, I think it would look pretty good. It could be done pretty well. And yeah, I completely rescinded my opinion on that one. So that's where I'm at with that. Okie dokie. I love the orcs. I need to get back into them. I've got some mega knobs that are halfway through finishing. They've got so many little gubbins on them. There's quite a slog to get through. Oh, pardon me. Yeah. Hey. Oh yeah, I'm burping like Lisa Ann after a throat scene back in the day. If anybody gets that reference up, then yeah. Good old Lisa Ann. This is about as far as I ever take. Jan Hamilton says I'm going to use him for Inquisition along with Greyfax and make the whole band Old World 40k. Yeah, no, I mean, he would work in an Inquisitor army. The main gripe I just had with him, I felt he looked very Age of Sigmar-y, but that's maybe a bit due to the selection of the paint choices and the new way of painting stuff kind of maybe tricks your brain to think of Age of Sigmar because it's a bit more, it's that digital edited stuff. I mean, most of these hangovers that I personally have of liking the old sculpts, I much prefer Firstborns over Primaris. I just tend to like the older stuff, but I think most of the reason for that is that they didn't do things digitally back then, and things were kind of more or less hand molded for the most part, and that kind of gave things this rounded, how would you say, like a human hand feel to them that kind of imprinted itself in the like design language across all their stuff. So when I see these real new, crisply digitally edited sculpts, they have this like almost imperceptible overall feeling when you look at them that you can't like point at one bit on it and say this is how it's different, but overall just the composition and the way it's all drawn together, that you can see almost where it began when they started doing them like that. And I think that's a lot of what it is. It's like the nostalgia's baked into that old look. So that's kind of, yeah, I think that's where that comes from. So Pixelbrit says, I totally agree with the AOS vibe from him, though. On that same subject about AOS, Cities of Sigmar are eating good with that cog fort. What the fuck? It's incredible. Yeah, it is. It looks so sick. And I flirted with Age of Sigmar a little bit. My fiance, she has a Sylvaneth army. Not very extensive. She just likes painting the big guys and making them look like they've got honeycomb on them and putting little flowers on them, and you know what girls are like, that's what they do. And I flirted a little bit with doing a bit of Cities of Sigmar. I couldn't quite get on with their overall design language. Like, I don't know what they're trying to do. And I felt that, like, for me personally, I'm a heavy, I love, when I think of fantasy, I think of Lord of the Rings, Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings, particularly when I'm imagining it. And I really like Game of Thrones, so that's like a low to mid fantasy, whereas Age of Sigmar is like high mega fantasy, when everything's like god realms and all that stuff. It personally, it doesn't pull me in the same way. I don't think it's as good as a setting. It's just so unbelievably fluid. It's not my cup of tea. And the Cities of Sigmar, that like I don't know what they're kind of doing with them. So we've got Runaway 5. It says, I have one friend who plays 40k, everyone else plays Sigmar, and I cannot get into it. I'm the same. I like, what's good about it though, like, is that it's those alternating activations. It's a very engaging game, and my fiance particularly actually quite enjoyed playing it. It is a good game, like as far as the general mechanics of it go, but the setting I just cannot get on board with. And for me, a large part of wargaming is imagining what's going on the table as it goes on, and crafting that story as the game progresses. Now, if I am completely unsold on the setting or the characters, and then it's just not gonna happen for me. So yeah, it's never been one for me either. I tell you what is very good though, the Lord of the Rings Middle Earth strategy battle game. That is an absolutely excellent set of rules, and to play it as a system, it is brilliant. It works just as like a melee thing should. Like, you've got points, and I actually just to segue a tiny little bit, I was halfway or most of the way through, I actually designed a set of rules for a medieval style tabletop war game, which was like large armies, kind of somewhere between skirmish and large army size, and it was very much so based around that. Do you guys know about a something called the maniple swap in ancient history? Basically, to this day, nobody knows how the Romans did it. So what it is when these big blocks of guys will be fighting, obviously they were trying to swap around the front rank all the time. Now, when you think about that, so well, how did they swap a whole rank of guys at the same time without losing ground? And obviously what they eventually had to do is swap the whole unit. So they did a maneuver called a maniple swap, where they seamlessly swapped the guys without losing any ground and not taking a step backwards. Now, this is something that, like, no, we don't know how they actually did it, but this was what I wanted to be a big feature of this game, is that, like, you're exchanging your units, you're trying maniple swaps, you're trying to break a hole in their line, and then create envelopments, and that's how you really like make ground and kill the enemy. And it was all based on like battle shock and like stuff. But I also created a board game element to it, where you would like go around the board capturing settlements, and it was like kind of like a total war game, but in a board game sense. But anyway, so Runaway 5 says, yeah, I like my fantasy more grounded too. Absolutely, I completely agree with you. The more grounded a fantasy is, I find like the more intriguing it is. There's like a fine line there, but I feel like if you have like elements to it that are too fantastical, you kind of lose like the grounded stakes. Like for instance, like in Age of Sigmar, like a character could be like about to be killed, but there's no stakes because at any minute some random crazy interdimensional hijinks could just swoop in and save them at the last minute. And for me, I like to feel like, I don't know, just grounded is it just seems to be better. Though a grounded fantasy setting is the best fantasy setting you can do. Better than fully grounded, but also better than really wacky and out there. So yeah, the setting of Age of Sigmar really puts me off. I'm a huge Warhammer fantasy lore nerd, obsessed with it, sinking my teeth into 40k lore and loving every minute about it. Oh, to be fair, I don't know much of or really barely anything about Warhammer fantasy lore, so we should definitely have a conversation about that when you hop on. That'd be very interesting to talk to you about that. It's not something I've looked into much, but I did much preferred that setting. That setting was very much so more grim, dark, down to earth, and gritty than it has been in Age of Sigmar. They seem to be doing something with Age of Sigmar though. I've heard that it's like winding down or ending or something, which just seems like a crazy thing to do. Like I get they want to refocus, if they want to change it up, they want to refocus on a new system, but it seems like a crazy thing to do for like if you think of it, like why would you completely get rid of a game? I know they don't. I know you can still like play it and stuff if you got all the stuff, but if they stop like selling the miniatures and stuff, it just seems, obviously, I suppose you've only got so much shelf space, haven't you? But you could just go to online. Like I don't understand why they got rid of Warhammer Fantasy when they could have just kept it as an online thing. Maybe they don't have to promote it in their stores, but why stop people from buying it if you've already got all the stuff? I'm sure there's a perfectly reasonable logistical explanation to it, but yeah, that's the musings anyway, boys. Wow, I've managed to do a prime like 30 minutes of straight up waffling. They got rid of fantasy for how long? I'm not sure. Fantasy's been gone since Age of Sigmar came out, basically. When did Age of Sigmar start? So we haven't had Warhammer Fantasy since 2015, which is 11 years ago. Bloody hell, that's gone quick. But obviously we've got Old World now. Something I like the look of it. I might have an Old World Fantasy army at one point. I like Bretonnians. I know they get stick. Apparently they're like a bit basic or one-dimensional or something. But I am a slut for historical fantasy, and I see like 1100s, like Arthurian knights with lances, and I'm all on board with that. I'm definitely a medieval period enjoyer. And when I mean medieval period, I mean like 1066 to 1300s. I think that's the high medieval point for me personally. Obviously, you got like even Viking era in the 800 AD. That's technically Middle Ages, but I don't think of it as Middle Ages in my mind. I think of that as like just like leading up to it, or like end of the Dark Ages. When I imagine Middle Ages, and I think you guys are the same, I imagine tawnies, knights, princesses, knights in armor, cavalry chargers with lancers. That's what I imagine. Those stripy tents, peasants with bill hooks and stuff like that. That's what I imagine. Obviously, you got later on. For some reason, I can't get it into my head that in the medieval period there is. It seems like such a later on addition that there should be like hand cannons and cannons in general and stuff like that. That's and long arquebuses and matchlock rifles and stuff. That seems to like that's like a different period in my mind anyway. So they got rid of fantasy for how long? Oh yeah, Jan Hamilton also says and now I feel like a hoarder for keeping my fantasy armies. No mate, keep them, because Old World's out, man. So you weren't a hoarder, you were just saving them for a rainy day. And they're expensive now, dude. They take the piss with the prices for the Old World stuff. It's like you're updating your kits, right? And your new kits, and then you're charging us an arm and a leg for them because they are new. You cannot then go and take a kit away from us and then bring it back 11 years later, exactly the same as it was for like 15 years before that. So you've got like a 25-year-old kit and then charge us prices as if it was a brand new kit that you've just respent money in like having it designed. You just pulled it out the back end of some filing cabinet and then pumped it up by like 30% in price. They take the bloody piss. Sigmar has some magnificent models, but I cannot get into the lore. Yeah, mate. I know, that's the same because you cannot say, and I've had this like argument with people before, that I've criticised Sigmar models and people say, oh, but they're like way better than even the 40k ones. And it's like, they are better sculpts, better 3D designs, and nobody's going to contest that, but they're just, yeah, they're noise to me. Like, the designs and some of the stuff is so outlandish. Like, some of the designs that are like, because of how weird the setting is, that this design is completely like from left field. Like guys riding on the back of a turtle that's flying through space, or just some of the stuff that is dog shit, like proper ass. But yeah, I prefer the 40k stuff. Always have done, probably always will. Yeah, that's where it is anyway. Alright guys, we're approaching 2.5 hours now. I really should have been getting some stuff done, but I've just sat here and nattered. I'm gonna put it there. I've got to have some dinner. So I'm gonna love yous and leave yous, guys. That'll be it for tonight. So thank you all very much for joining us again. And if you wouldn't mind, before we leave, please do make sure that you've liked the video. It does do a great deal. I had it really does do a great deal. I had a dispute with some bloody Reddit mod for posting a post about trying to connect people with this stream so they could get advice for their miniatures on a miniature painting Reddit, and they told me off because it was they just banned me like outright because it was supposedly an advertisement for their channel. I said to them, well, I kind of suppose it is, but like before you had banned me and deleted my post, I had a load of people who contacted me, and they're going to get some good stuff out of this. And there would have been more people if you guys hadn't have stepped in where nobody asked you to. I kind of felt like this is providing some value to the community, and you guys have come in and shut it down for whatever power trip reason. So yeah, very weird. And I had a bit of a back and forth. I did call him a fuckface, to be fair, but at that point I didn't realise it was a human. I thought it was a bot or something. But I had to stick by it anyway. So what was my point I was saying about that? I can't remember anyway. What was my point? Oh yeah, so I'm pretty sure one of these motherfuckers is going and like just putting a dislike on all my videos, because I've got ones that like nobody's watching ages and just suddenly a dislike's popped up on them. So there you go. All right, guys. Thanks for dropping by, and see you in a little while. Take it easy.